easier for us to understand how to write précis in a correct manner, in a proper manner, in which manner an examiner is expecting, right? So every examination, every, bit of writing is actually dependent on the way examiner wants it. ঠিক যেমন ভাবে একজন এক্সামিনার চায়, we need to present it, we need to express it in the same way so that we can satisfy his or her need and fetch maximum marks out of it, right? See, when we mean précis, when we say précis, what do we mean actually? We mean precise form of something. So there will be a given passage on the basis of which we need to understand the passage and take out the point which are practically can shape the overall writing. On the basis of this particular points, we have to replicate the passage in a very brief way so that it sounds and looks presentable to the reader, right? So this is what does précis mean? Clear? So let us have a practical experience without wasting time in the rules of the précis, because if there is a directed in your question that you were asked to write a précis, that means there will be a given passage. So before going to the précis directly, you should choose a suitable title for the précis. Now, it may be written on your paper that write a précis with a suitable title. It may not be written. Actually, it doesn't matter whether it has been directed in your question. You need to write a beautiful title, a lucid title, so that examiner can get an idea that you are going to write, you are going to focus on a correct point. Now, the title of the précis should have a bit words. You cannot cross a limit of the, allotment of words that is needed for a précis title or précis caption. It may be of 3 and 4 or 5, right? Try to limit it within 5 to 7 words. Now, if it is possible, you can write in less than number, which I have mentioned now. And the thing is that title expresses the content of the précis. Just like a mirror, it helps to make an image before the person who is standing before it. Précis serves the purpose of the extract or the excerpt of the given passage, and the title makes it too brief so that anyone can get the idea that this particular title actually captures what is written in the content. Title কি করে?
স্যার আপনি কি স্ক্রিন শেয়ার করেছেন?
Probably I have not. No, actually I forgot to share the screen. Okay, let me have the screen first. Now I think you can see the screen now clearly, right? Now, so this is a précis which is given to you. This is an extract of the original writing and just a part of a prose which is expected to be. Now, I write a précis of the following passage, and this is a given passage. See, try to culminate how many points you can gather from the original content. There was a certain island in the sea, the only inhabitants of which were an old man whose name was Prospero. and his daughter, Miranda, a very beautiful young lady. Now, she came to this island so young that she had no memory of having seen any other human face than her father's. Right? See, again, the writer is going to describe the thing that Prospero and Miranda likes. They lived in a cave or cell made out of rock. It was divided into several apartments, one of which Prospero called his study. Right? There he kept his books, which chiefly targeted of magic, a study at a time much affected by all learned men. And the knowledge of this art he found very useful to him, for being thrown by a strange chance upon this island, which had been enchanted by a witch called Sycorax, who died there a short time before his arrival. Prospero, by virtue of his art, released many good spirits that Sycorax had imprisoned in the bodies of large trees, because they had refused to execute her wicked commands. These gentle spirits were ever after obedient to the will of Prospero. Of these, Ariel was the chief. So the précis consists of 185 words, and it is really easy to understand what is written in the précis. Now, it is your duty, it is your task to find out how many points you can gather out of it, right? And the thing is that when you read the passage of the précis, it is important to understand the meaning of the passage with a single reading. You cannot afford to read it twice or many times. চেষ্টা করতে হবে যাতে আমরা একবারে পড়ে পুরো মিনিংটা বুঝতে পারি। আমরা কখনোই যেটা করতে পারবো না সেটা হচ্ছে দুবার তিনবার করে প্যাসেজটাকে পড়তে পারবো না, because we have time constraint. We cannot be so luxurious about the time, right? And it needs a practice of understanding a passage with a single go, and that can best be practiced through solving out the comprehension, right? So this is a process how we can get into the meaning of the passage with a single reading, right? Now let us start. If we ask you how many points you find in the passage, so what would be your answer? There was a certain island in the sea, the only inhabitants of which were an old man whose name was Prospero, his daughter Miranda, right? A very beautiful young lady. Now, you come to me. Tell me how many points are there in the passage. Point it out. जितना सारा पॉइंट तुम निकाल सकते हो निकाल. Solid points. And in terms of finding points, you have to be very calculative. Number one, you have to shut out all the examples. You have to omit all the data that has been written in the passage. You have to understand what is exactly necessary, what we can avoid, right? Now tell me how many points you can gather. Yes, is there anyone? Diptosh, do you have any answer? Shondeep?
হ্যাঁ
Yes,
বলছি যে পয়েন্ট কতগুলো রাখতে হবে বলে মনে হয় না, যতগুলো খুঁজে পাচ্ছি ততগুলো বলবো।
exactly. It
স্যার
depends
প্রথমে
on the reader.
প্রথমে আইল্যান্ডটাকে জাস্ট বেশি বর্ণনা না করে জাস্ট আইল্যান্ডের দুজন থাকে এটা বলে দেবো। মিরান্ডার
Right.
উম,
Next.
তো মিরান্ডার সামনে ওখানে ইয়াং আর এটা ওটা মিরান্ডার সামনেই যোগ করে দেবো, বিউটিফুল ইয়াং তার দরকার নেই, সেকেন্ডে সো ইয়াং মেমোরি দরকার নেই ওখানে হয়তো, হিউম্যান ফেস।
Exactly. Next.
নেক্সট স্যার স্টাডিতে ম্যাজিক পেয়েছিল এবং সেই ম্যাজিকটা একটা উইচের, সাইক্রক্স নামে একজন উইচের, এটুকুই হলে হয়ে যাবে ওখানে।
Mhm. Try to understand the meaning, what is written here. He has several partitions, several apartment in his cave.
হ্যাঁ ওখানে পার্ট অ্যাপার্টমেন্টস উইচ, যেখানে একটা স্টাডি ছিল ওইটা ওই ম্যাজিকের এটার সাথে যোগ করে দেবে।
Study means what?
স্টাডি মিনস মানে যেখানে পড়াশোনা করে, মানে বই টইগুলো থাকে।
That means study room.
ও,
Right.
হ্যাঁ
Yes,
ওখানে তো স্টাডি
study
রুমকে
means
স্টাডি
study room.
বলে। হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ
Exactly. That means study room. And
স্যার
practically, it is a library, it is a workshop where magic has been practiced. Magic as a subject is treated here. Right?
তারপরে স্যার সাইক্রক্স এর ম্যাজিকটা বলবো, যে সে ব্যাড স্পিরিটকে ঘিরে রেখেছিল, যেটা প্রসপেরো তাদেরকে মুক্ত করেছিল। বাস এখানেই তো শেষ করে দিলে হয়ে যায়। আর গুড গুড স্পিরিটস গুলো তার কথা মেনে নিত, ওটা জাস্ট লাস্টে একটা কনক্লুশন টাইপ টেনে নিলে তো হয়ে যাচ্ছে, মানে তিন চারটা পয়েন্টের মধ্যে হয়ে যাচ্ছে।
Yes. So within 3 to 4 points, you have to complete it. Right? Acha. Is anyone in the platform who can answer in a brief way? Shreya, Shomalu, Shomojit. Now, Shantip has answered me. Now it is a question to you. Do you get my points here? Are you able to understand what is written in the passage?
ইয়েস স্যার।
Devotos, Shreya, Shomalu, Shomojit,
Yes,
are you
sir.
clear? Okay,
ইয়েস
fine.
স্যার।
Fine. That means you are clear with the idea, right? So it is written in 185 words. Now you need to shrink it into 1/3 of the given word limits, right? So 1/3 means now give me a rough idea of 1/3 of 185.
62 মিনিমাম।
60, 62, 65. It is not a hard and fast rule that you have to complete, but it is approximately, we can calculate the number of the word, right? Now, come to the answer paper. Right. So this is answer paper that has been shared with you. Now, you need to be very categorical before answering. Like, answer to question number this. And this is the title, Prospero and Ariel. Now, why this title is very important? Because we are not supposed to write something which is very suggestive, which is something ornamental, very rhetoric in sense, right? We cannot write a magician for the greater interest of humanity. So this kind of title will be very dangerous because it may sound really well, but the thing is that it can be baffling in sense. A reader with a very short reading of the title can misinterpret it in a different way. It may mean in a different way. So be very straight when you write the title. It must be very lucid, understandable to all, that we are actually concerning two characters. One is Prospero and Ariel, right? Now,
Ariel man.
Ariel is a character. This was chief, I mean, as I have read out to you.
Chief of the good spirits.
Exactly, chief of the good spirit. Now, come to the passage, I mean, Précis. Prospero lived with his daughter Miranda in an island where they were, where there were no other human beings. So in this line, at least first 4 to 5 lines have been clearly contained. We have expressed what has been written in the first 4 to 5 lines with a very brief expression that Prospero lived with his daughter Miranda in an island where there were no other human beings. As simple as this. Let me enable the pen first so that I can clearly show you.
এখানে কেভের বর্ণনাটা তো টোটালি অমিট করে গেছে। অ্যাপার্টমেন্ট
Exactly.
স্টাডিজ।
Exactly. We need not issue it. If you want to add, we have several ways to write that I will show you. See, lived with his daughter, first point. Miranda, in an island where they used to live, in an island. There were no human being. Number 3. This is what we need to express. We need to write. Next. Before they came, a witch named Sycorax lived there. This is the next event. তার আসার আগে সাইকোরাক্স ওখানে বসবাস করত। Event number 4. Next. She had imprisoned many good spirits in trees. Fact number 5. Prospero was well versed in the art of magic. Now I'm going to tell the fact that Prospero actually practiced magic, right? And by exercising that art, he freed the screwed spirit of whom Ariel was the chief. Now see, freed the good spirit, number 7, of whom Ariel was the chief. Number 8. 8 different points have been given there with just 1, 2, 3, 4 sentences. This is the art of precis writing. Clear? Do you get my point here? See, if we want to add this section of the apartment, how should we write? They used to live where they lived no, we did add this. Was made into several apartments. Now, without wasting, contributing a different construction or different sentence, we can add this portion with already existing writing. Where they lived was made into several apartments. So up to this we can add, right? Though this is actually not necessary to write. See, without touching the maximum word limit, instead of 62 or 65, we have completed it, we are able to complete it rather in 58. This is the most credit giving thing, right? So this is a way of expressing a passage. So you got it?
স্যার কমপ্লেক্স আর কম্পাউন্ড দিয়ে টোটালি অ্যাভয়েড করবো, শুধুমাত্র সিম্পল সেন্টেন্সে লিখবো?
As you wish. It is up to you. If you are well versed, if you are actually enriched with a knowledge of construction, you can deal with English in an easy way. But in most of the cases, simple sentences with a bit combination of some complex one, you can write it, you can present it. Actually, simple sentence gives a relief to the reader, where the complex sentences are mostly needed for expressing several ideas in a single construction. It doesn't matter that everything will be accumulated in a single sentence. What matters actually is the limit of words. See, it is harder to express in a very easy way, but complex construction, it is, is rather easier. Why? If we know, if we understand how to expand something, we can add on to it. But making it precise is really tough out of so many things. That's why it is always advisable to write in simple constructions with certain combination of this complex sentences, right? So this is a fast passage we have actually discussed. Next. Come to another one. Now this is another précis. This is another passage out of which you need to make a précis. This time I will ask you, I will tell you to do it by yourself. Now, let us proceed the following passage, and it is a given passage. Now, again, I'm having a pen. This is about the autobiography. All autobiographies are lies. I do not mean unconscious, unintentional lies. I mean deliberate lies. No man is bad enough to tell the truth about himself during his lifetime, involving, as it must, the truth about his family and his friends and colleagues. And no man is good enough to tell the truth to prosperity in a document which surpasses, until there is nobody left alive to contradict him. I speak with the more confidence on the subject because I have myself tried the experiment within certain timid limits of being candidly autobiographical. But I have produced no permanent impression because nobody has ever believed me. My paternal grandmother had 15 children in the first 22 years of her marriage. After 15, she managed to bring up 11, thus providing me with all but a dozen. So this is a passage. Now, first you need to understand, then you segregate it in different segments, take out the points, and tell me how can we structure the précis. And this time you need to answer it. I'm giving you enough time. Read it carefully. Tell me the meaning and take the points out. Quick, quick, make it quick. If you find difficulties somewhere, you feel free to discuss it with me. No, I've given you enough time. Now tell me, Shomalu, how many points you can gather out of it? Okay, tell me the meaning of the précis first. Come on, Shomalu. Shomalu, come on. No. Okay, Shomojit.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Tell me the meaning of the précis first. I mean, passage first.
স্যার আমি এই মানে গোটাটার সঙ্গে এই লাস্ট দুটো লাইন যেটা আছে এটা ইন্টার রিলেট করতে পারছি না, মানে পুরোটা
Okay,
পুরোটা হয়তো
okay,
মানে
okay,
এটা
no
বলতে
issue.
যে একটা
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
মানে অটোবায়োগ্রাফি কোনো ব্যক্তি, মানে প্রত্যেকটা
Hmm.
অটোবায়োগ্রাফি মিথ্যে হয় কারণ কোনো ব্যক্তি
তার জীবন বা তার ফ্রেন্ড ফ্যামিলি এইসব নিয়ে কোনো কিছুই সত্যি কথা বলতে চায় না যতক্ষণ না কেউ একজন তাকে সে মিথ্যেটা তাকে বাধা দেয়। আর এটা যে একজন মানে এটা আমি সরবে বলতে পারছি কারণ আমি এটা একবার এক্সপেরিমেন্টে ট্রাই করেছিলাম কিন্তু এটা ফেল হয়েছিল এক্সপেরিমেন্টে।
এক্স্যাক্টলি।
তারপর স্যার নিচের দুটো লাইন ওটা ইন্টাররিলেট করতে পারছি না।
But I have produced
মানে
no
ওটা
permanent
গ্র্যান্ডমাদারের কেসটা,
impression. Hmm.
মানে
No
ওটা
permanent
গ্র্যান্ডমাদারের।
impression. Okay, okay. Because nobody has ever believed me. Now the author has told very clearly that even if I tried, even if the author tried it in his best way, but the thing is that he was unable to make any impression in the mind of the reader because nobody believed him. Why? Because his account was actually correct, but it was not acceptable to the reader. Why? What he had actually written in his autobiography was my parental grandmother, that his parental grandmother had 15 children in the past 22 years of her marriage. বিয়ের প্রথম 22 বছরের মধ্যে 15টা সন্তানের জন্ম দিয়েছিলেন। That was a hard fact which he wanted to present to the readers. But so fertile mother was unaccepted to the today's universe, to the today's reader, right? Because in the public opinion, it was a kind of exaggeration of the fact, right? Of the 15, she managed to bring up 11. Out of the 15 children, he could manage to bring up only 11 children properly, right? Thus providing me with all but a dozen, and providing me with all but a dozen. That means, so in such way, she provided me with all but a dozen, with this, number of offspring that has been mentioned here, right? So this was the actual fact he presented, but it went boomerang. That was not accepted. So this is only the data. This is only the exemplification of his failure.
লাস্ট লাইনটাও এক্সপেরিমেন্টাল ডেটাটা।
Exactly. Only the data that he presented before the reader, which was, very drastically refuted or rejected by the readers as an exaggeration of the fact. But the thing is that it is correct. It is the actual story. Now, it could have been in a more polished way, which may not be truth, but it could have been accepted to the audience or the reader. So this is his lookout. Correct? Now, next, it is a question direct to Shreya. So how can we write a précis? Tell me the first line of the précis. Shreya.
All autobiographies are lies.
It is already written here.
Oh, I cannot read the line.
Definitely. See, précis doesn't mean it is a copy paste. Précis means you need to take out the important points out of a passage and present it in your language. A précis passage must reflect your own comprehension and your own language. That is more important to the examiner.
Okay.
The harsh truth of autobiography.
And that may be a title, yes, the harsh truth of autobiography, a behind story of autobiography, right? So these are the title that is applicable. Now, tell me the first line which we can make out of all this description of the stories. Shanidho, you have joined recently. First, read the passage. Try to understand it and make a précis first. Shreya, come on. Tell me the first line of the précis.
Sir, I did the copy paste.
Okay, fine. It is not your fault. You are attempting for the first time, probably. I do not know. I mean, in this professional attempt, definitely you have done it several times before. But the thing is that in your professional examination, you're going to write a précis for the first time.
Yes, sir.
So the error is very to and fro with all of the candidates. So you need not to worry about it. Go straight and speak your mind. Forget the grammar. Feel
Can
free
I
to.
try again and say it later?
Why not? You practice it in your copy,
Okay.
right? Make a draft of it and then tell me. No issue. By the time.
Sir,
Yes, Shanidho.
like from this passage, we will means draft a précis from this whole line or whole paragraph, or only the first line.
Now, you need to extract the whole passage into a précis. But the thing is that I'm going step by step. Now there is a process of making a précis. After reading the given passage, you need to explain into different points, right? On the basis of these points, you have to make a précis. Just only 1/3 of the volume, right? With a suitable title, right? Now, first you try to comprehend how many points we can infer from the passage. Then arrange it in a sequence, one by one. Don't overlap the point, right? And every point must be very coherent with others, must have a link with others so that it sounds well. And the thing is that making a précis does not mean just a copy and paste, right? It is a process of, replicating the passage in your own language. You need to make it brief, but don't use a language that has already been used in the passage. You can take 1 or 2 words from the précis, no issue. But as a construction, you cannot copy it. Shanidhi, you got my point?
Yes, sir. Good.
Okay, now try.
Sir?
Right.
বলছি যে মানে সমস্ত লোককে যে হাইলাইট করতেই হবে যেখানে সেটা দরকার নেই তো।
No, no, no.
তো স্যার আমি তো যদি একটু এখান থেকে নিয়ে বলি প্রথমটা যে অল বায়োগ্রাফিস আর ডেলিভারেড লাইজ, এখানে ডু নট মিন বলার দরকার নেই, ওটা আমার বলার প্রয়োজনই নেই। জাস্ট ডাইরেক্ট যেটা বলতে চাইছে অথর সেটাই বলছি আমি, যে অল বায়োগ্রাফিস আর ডেলিভারেড লাইজ।
Definitely correct.
তারপরে স্যার এখানে ব্যাড আর গুড আছে, তো আমি এটাকে বলতে পারি যে নো ম্যান ইজ, মানে কোনো ব্যক্তি অতটা জেন্টাল নয়, তো জেন্টাল বললে এখানে ব্যাড গুড দুটোই বোঝা যাচ্ছে, যে সে তার ট্রুথ জীবনে সমস্ত সত্যিটা বলতে পারে। দিয়ে ওখানে ফ্যামিলি এন্ড ফ্রেন্ডসটা কি বলার দরকার আছে, ওখানে জাস্ট নিজের লাইফের সম্বন্ধে বলবো যে নো ম্যান ইজ অ্যাজ জেন্টাল অ্যাজ, মানে কি বলবো এটাকে, যে নিজের ফ্যামিলি বা নিজের সম্পর্কে জীবন সম্পর্কে সত্যিটা বলতে পারে।
So no man is so gentle
so
to express or to reveal the entire truth of his life, family, and friends.
হ্যাঁ, আচ্ছা এখানে কি গুড ব্যাড দুটাকে ঢোকানো যাবে?
Not necessarily.
আচ্ছা, তাহলে জেন্টাল দিয়ে ওটা ব্যাডটাকে আমরা ঢুকিয়ে দিচ্ছি।
Definitely.
সো আচ্ছা, এখানে হচ্ছে নো ম্যান ইজ গুড ইনাফ টু টেল দ্য ট্রুথ পস্টেরিটি, মানে টু পস্টেরিটি ইন এ ডকুমেন্ট, পস্টেরিটিটা কি?
Posterity. Posterity means what? You know what is posterity? See,
Prosper.
you know what is prosperity is different. Prosperity is promising. Prosperity is, being prosperous. That is prosperity. getting developed, that is prosperity. Getting
মানে
flourished, that
নিজের
is
জীবনের
prosperity.
আচ্ছা কিভাবে সাকসেস পেয়েছে সেটা বলার জন্য অতটা ভালো
No, no,
না।
no, 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 no. Posterity is completely different. It is not prosperity. That is posterity, right? Now, I mean, definitely I know that you know what is posterity. You have read it several times. Try to understand it. Definitely you know what is posterity. Posterity is definitely noun.
স্যার ডিসেন্ডেন্টস।
Exactly. The future generation, the descendants. Clear? Which we call heirs.
এই যে and no man is good enough to tell the truth to posterity in a document which he suppressed until there is nobody left alive to contradict him. কন্ট্রাডিক্ট মানে তো হচ্ছে তার মানে মতামত যেটা সেটাই খণ্ডন করা, তাই তো?
Exactly. So the person is not ready to reveal the entire truth till the death of the concerned persons. যতক্ষণ না অবধি যাদেরকে নিয়ে আমি লিখছি তারা মৃত হয়ে যাচ্ছে, ততক্ষণ অবধি তার সম্পর্কে সত্যি কথাটা বলি না। That's why the writer or the author of the précis has written it in a very satirical tone, right? No.
তাহলে স্যার এই লাইনটাকে কিভাবে আনবো, আমি প্রকাশ করবো?
In just a single expression. This line is a repetition of the previous one or the earlier one, and no man is good, no man is bad enough, and no man is good enough to tell the truth to posterity in a document which suppresses until there is nobody left alive to contradict him. Right? Okay, fine. If somebody demises, if somebody expires, now he is free to tell the truth about the person because there will be nobody to protest this truth, protest against this truth, right? So that way, you need to be very diplomatic when you write. We need to understand the time when we should speak the truth. So it is said in a very different and satirical way. Now, earlier line, earlier sentence and this former sentence mean in the same way. So you need not to discriminate between them. Rather, go straight to the next point.
তো দেশে এটা কি অথার হিসেবে বলবো না জাস্ট আই দিয়েই থাকবে লেখাটা? আই দিয়েই তো থাকবে কারণ আমি তো স্পেসিস করছি না, আমি সেটাকে ছোট করছি।
This is a trap. No first person will be there in précis. You are never allowed to write in first person because author has the privilege to write in first person. Author লিখতে পারে আমি এটা বুঝেছি, আমার এটা মনে হয়, আমি এটা ভাবছি, but you are nobody. You are just an examinee who is making brief of the passage, right?
তাহলে কি
So-
স্যার আমি আইটাকে দা অথার বলবো?
Yes, you need to express it in third person. You write author, you write narrator, you write speaker, he or she, whatever that be. If the identity is not disclosed, you can write he, right? If the gender of the person who is writing the passage is not clear, you are at ease to write he. Clear? This is a very important point of the précis. That's why I have given the passage to you.
তাহলে
There
স্যার
is a
the author
the author.
The author is very much confident about this subject as he have tried this experiment.
Exactly, as he have tried this experiment by himself.
By himself.
Right. Next.
But he failed in this experiment as nobody believed in it.
Okay. When you were saying that nobody believed in him, but
In him or
nobody
experiment
believed
in it.
right.
Experiment
Nobody believed his account as it was so open and frank to the reader, right? As it was so vivid, so implicit, so vivid, candid, frank, means that is open to all. That is so open that it was hard for the reader to accept it. Right? বুঝাতে পারলাম কি বলতে চাইছি? So you can write it in this way.
তারপরে স্যার লাস্ট যে দুটো লাইন আছে ওটা বলতে পারি as a result of his experiment as a result হবে কি এটা?
As a result
of his experiment he introduced his parental grandmother who had 15 children and she only can manage to bring up 11.
Only could manage.
Only 11. Thus providing ওটা দরকার নেই তো just একটুকুই
But the thing is that if you can manage this particular example with your word limit, you can write. But if you cannot manage the data with your word limit of 1/3 volume, you must not write.
Right? Good আর ব্যাডটাকে যদি আমরা একটা লাইনে সিঙ্ক করে দেই তাহলে আমি হয়তো এটাকে আনতে পারি।
This is the way. This is the way. Let us see. Just I have said you that you have to write it in this way. Answer to question number dash. Give a title. Please.
Hello, sir.
Yes. Continue, Shanito.
Sir, here I have a question that is in the last line. Actually, I have one sentence to say. One answer that we can say like this, so that from this I speak with the more confidence. Yes. Like he speaks confidently on the idea because he tried the experiment by himself several times with certain.
It is not a matter of speaking. He tried by himself. So he tried means he wrote. So it is not of speaking something. It is not of telling something. He tried by his own. That is enough. Right? He tried the idea of exercising autobiography. He tried the idea of exercising autobiography by himself. That will do. Right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. A very good attempt. Very good attempt. Now, next one.
Sir, if the like means the author or a person who is writing the autobiography is not mentioned clearly, if we read the passage, if it reaches out to in a very generalized way, then like they are also a he or she is used, or like fourth person means in a generalized way if we tell, or like generic form.
That will also do. If you want to omit the person, somebody is not willing to suppose whether it is he or she, you can avoid it in a passive form. In a passive construction, there is no need to, yes, in a passive construction, there is no need to give the identity of the person who is speaking it. Who is writing it. So that can be a good idea, but think twice before you jump. This idea needs a practice. You need to have a very good knowledge of grammar. If you have, you can proceed, no issue, right? But the easier way is to write with third person. Now,
Okay, sir.
come to the answer, sample answer first. Autobiographies are, see, autobiographies are mostly stuffed with fabricated elements. Why I have written this fabricated elements? That means
Pseudo or false.
pseudo or false things. As the author has already mentioned that lies, so instead of lies, I have written fabricated elements, right? Mostly stuffed with. Stuffed with means
Filled with.
full of, right? Fabricated elements. No one, author says, is so maverick to express, or expose the uncomfortable truth related to his nearest one, to the contemporaries, or to the generation next. Now, see, this is a way of, writing. No one, author says, means according to author. This is a very stylistic expression. No one, author says, as the author observes, is so maverick. Maverick means outward, outspoken, right? Boiplovik. So no one author says, as a authors, observes, according to the author, no one is so maverick to expose the uncomfortable truth, right, related to the nearest ones, or to the contemporaries, or to the next generation, or to the generation next. Now, one, nearest one; two, contemporaries belonging to the same time, or to the next generation, or the generation next. So no one is ready to express this bitter truth to the friends, to the contemporary ones, or to the next generation, even to the next generation. Now, the author himself wrote autobiography, which, see, everywhere I have said the author, the writer, the narrator, right, himself wrote autobiography with the candid narration of huge polygamous family. So he wrote autobiography with a candid narration. Candid means open. Narration means exactly clear. Description. With a very open description of huge polygamous family. Polygamous family means a family consisting of so many members, so many offsprings, right? That is called polygamous family in those days of Ireland. But it was scarcely accepted to the readers, right? Scarcely accepted means that was not accepted. Scarcely means hardly accepted. That means not accepted actually to the reader. Yes, done. So this is, completely new technique to understand and express. See, in most of the cases, it will be written in a very generalized way. That will also fetch number, undoubtedly. But if you can express it in this language, it will almost fetch full marks, right? So be introduced with this kind of sentences construction so that you can earn maximum marks out of it. So do you understand what I've said actually? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Hello, sir.
Shanito.
Sir, in a question, like within how many words we have to draft the précis?
In 1/3 of the original volume. Just in 1/3 of the original volume. Right? Done? Okay, come to the next passage. Right. You can understand it well. This will be better for you.
Sir.
Right.
Hello, sir.
Huh.
Sir, what will be the title of the first passage which you give that was not discussed?
Okay, actually, I have left it for you. Some of you have correctly answered me before joining the session. Before you joined the session, right? Still, I'm going to repeat it once. Okay. Shandeep, I repeat the title once.
The harsh truth of autobiography.
Right. The behind story of autobiography, the harsh truth of autobiography. Right. So these are the title which we can allot. Do you have any idea, Shanito, regarding the title? According to you, what will be the title? And that must be very lucid. Shreya, what title do you prefer? Shreya. Hello. Somebody has said something, but Shreya.
Yes, sir.
Prefer the title. I mean, you tell me the title which you want to allot for this particular passage.
Significance of Eiffel Tower.
Not for this one. What I have
What?
actually done earlier, huh?
Okay.
For the second one.
Dark side of autobiography.
Okay, not dark side of autobiography. It is not dark. It is not murky. It is not something which is very negative. Don't be direct in telling something in a harsh way, right? At openly bolbe na. Like you can use the truth behind autobiography.
Okay, sir.
Right? Or you say in this way. Lies.
Lies about autobiography.
No. Lies. hyphen, the
Okay.
base of autobiography. Right. So you can write it in this way also. Shanidho, what do you prefer?
So it can be like the shades of autobiography,
No. Shade will be very suggestive.
or the dark shade of.
Not dark shade. Everywhere this is not expressed clearly. You need to be very straightforward when you write the title of an of a précis.
Yes.
Autobiography is just a falsification, right? This can be a title. Most of the autobiographies are lies. That can be a title. Autobiographies underlined.
Underlying lies of autobiographies.
Underlying lies. Okay. That may be a title. Okay, fine. Now come to this passage. Again, I'm leaving it to you to choose the points out of it. Now, so suggest a suitable title. Here, it has been directly told to you. You were asked to give a title first and write a précis. Now, I must say a word about the Eiffel Tower. Again, see, now, it is deliberately given. I must say a word about the Eiffel Tower. I do not know what purpose it serves today, but then I had it greatly disparaged as well as praised. See, this time I'm reading it in a very slow mode. I remember that Tolstoy was a chief among those who disparaged it. See, whether you know the meaning of the word disparage, you can understand what disparage is. Right? He said that the Eiffel Tower was a monument of man's folly, not of his wisdom. Tobacco, he argued, was the worst of all intoxicants, inasmuch as a man addicted to it was tempted to commit crimes which a drunkard never dared to do. Now, liquor made a man mad, but tobacco clouded his intellect and made him build castles in the air. The Eiffel Tower was one of the creations of man under such influence. Next. There is no art about the Eiffel Tower. In no way it can be said to have contributed to the real beauty of the exhibition. Men folk to see it and ascended it as it was a novelty and of unique dimension. It was a toy of the exhibition. So long as we were children, we were attracted by toys, and the tower was a good demonstration of the fact that we're all children attracted by trinkets. It's a beautiful saying, a good observation by Tolstoy. See.
স্যার
Tell me the meaning of the passage. Okay.
বলছি যে মানে এটা কি মেন এন্ড देयर টয়েস হবে?
No, this title is not at all appropriate. Try to understand what is written here. I must say a word about the Eiffel Tower. That means the author is interested to say something about Eiffel Tower. He is going to opine on Eiffel Tower, right? He is interested to present some facts which he believes in his core of his heart about Eiffel Tower. So his personal observation regarding Eiffel Tower is going to be introduced. Sorry. I do not know what purpose it serves today. So according to the author, it is completely unknown that what purpose it serves today. So in this world, in today's world, what is the utility of this Eiffel Tower is not understandable to the author. He finds hardly any explanation of building an Eiffel Tower. It is nonsense to the author. But then I heard it greatly disparaged as well as praised. But then I heard it greatly disparaged. That means I heard the Eiffel Tower being disparaged. That means being what? Try to guess the meaning. What is disparaged? As well as praised. So that must be something, just antonym of praise. So what will disparage mean? I heard it greatly disparaged. Tell me the meaning of the word disparaged.
The disapproval, rebuking.
Yes, disapproval. That means he heard it to be
সমালোচনা
exactly. That means criticized by the people. It has been greatly, denounced by the people, as well as praised, as well as appreciated. I remember that Tolstoy was a chief among those. And now the author can remember well that among those who actually disapproved the building of a gigantic structure like Eiffel Tower, Tolstoy is one of the prominent characters. So Tolstoy remains as a very standing and robust figure who denounced the structure of Eiffel Tower. No. He said that the Eiffel Tower was a monument of man's folly. So Tolstoy was very straight to tell to the people that this has come to existence because of the man's foolishness. মানুষের বোকামির জন্য আইফেল টাওয়ার তৈরি হয়েছে, তার ত্রুটির জন্য, folly. Folly means what? Drawback. Folly means error. Folly means mistakes. Exactly. Because of the man's folly, the human error, this is a product which is born out of human error, right? He is so direct to, point Eiffel Tower out. Not of his wisdom, not of man's wisdom. It is a creation for the purpose of entertainment only. It is not related to one's intellect or wisdom. Now, he is going to compare the condition in which Eiffel Tower has been created. What is the example? He has referred to the example of tobacco. According to him, tobacco is a thing, was the worst of all intoxicants. So this is the worst product of all the intoxicants available in the world. As intoxicants, we can hear alcohol. We can come in contact with opium. There are several sorts of things through which we, franchise the faculty of intoxicating ones, right? But the thing is that as much as a man addicted to it was tempted to commit crimes. So tobacco works as a catalyst in committing crime. It triggers human being to commit crime, which a drunkard never dare to. মাতাল সে কাজটা হয়তো করবে না। Who is tipsy, who is boozy, who is addicted to alcohol, probably will not be in a position to commit any crime under its effect. But tobacco can do this. Liquor made a man mad. So how far a liquor can do? A liquor can make a man mad, insane. But tobacco clouded his intellect. But the tobacco has the ability to build a safeguard around one's intellect. So it spoils one's intellectual ability and made him build castle in the air. And it makes someone to think something unattainable, to think something which is not possible at all, not feasible at all. So building castle in the air, akash kushum chinta bhabna korte shekhaye. The Eiffel Tower was one of the creations of man under such influence. That means under the influence of smoking or tobacco. There is no art about the Eiffel Tower. No artistic impression can be made out of Eiffel Tower, right? In no way it can be said to have contributed to the real beauty of the exhibition. So Eiffel Tower has no connection with the beautification in the true sense of the term. সৌন্দর্য বলতে যা বুঝে আইফেল টাওয়ার তার কিচ্ছু প্রকাশ করে না। Men folk to see it. So men crowded to see it. They rushed to see. Why? Why? And people are so interested to watch, to have an experience of seeing Eiffel Tower. The key reason is its gigantic size, as it was novelty. It is a status symbol that I have traveled to Paris and went up to the Eiffel Tower. And for its unique dimension, it's a gigantic, colossal dimension. It was a toy of the exhibition. It is like a toy, Kirnok, Kelnar moto. So long as we were children, we were attracted by toys. Like যখন আমরা ছোট ছিলাম যেমন আমরা হতাম, খেলনা দেখলে খুব ভালো লাগতো. And the tower was a good demonstration of the fact that we all are children attracted by trinkets. So Eiffel Tower and a craze to see it proves that we still belong to underage. We still belong to our childhood days. So we are not matured enough to understand what is beauty, what is art, because we confuse often beauty with Eiffel Tower, which are practically contradictory. So beautifully, the observation has been made by the author, right? So I have made it for you. Now it is your duty. Tell me, how can we write a
Sir?
précis? Yes.
Eiffel Tower, the result of man's fascination.
Fascination of what? This is important. Fascination means moho, infatuation, an illogical attraction towards something. That is called fascination. Fascination for what? This is important. Otherwise, it will raise a question in the mind of the examiner.
For toy.
Okay. Then then
Sir,
Hmm.
sir, in the last line that it was written, like, and the tower was a good demonstration of the fact that we are all children attracted by trinkets. So
Hmm.
here, trinkets means the toys which they are referring.
Definitely a toy. Trinkets that make sounds and entertain children. That is called trinkets. It's a kind of toy in which it makes sounds and it behaves in an improper way deliberately, so that the children can be amazed to see it. That is trinket. Next point.
সেটাই বলবো পয়েন্টগুলো।
Definitely.
Sir, according to the author has
Hmm.
no idea about the purpose of Eiffel Tower today. In this today,
No, according to author.
according to author,
I-
no, sir. According to author, no. The author
Hmm.
has no idea
Hmm.
about the purpose of Eiffel Tower.
I write
in
it in a
this
different
era.
way. Write it in a different way. It has been directly written here that he has no, Eiffel Tower has no purpose to serve today in this era. Okay. Same thing can be written in a different way. Like when we say, Eiffel Tower has no relevance in today's world, right?
মানে স্যার যেগুলো দেওয়া থাকবে সেগুলো ইউজ না যতটা কম করবো ওটাই ভালো, তাই তো?
Yes, exactly.
আচ্ছা, আচ্ছা।
See, same thing has been told here when we write it in this way that Eiffel Tower has no relevance in this modern world. So same thing has been said. That's right. Now, come on, next one.
স্যার এখানে আই হ্যাড ইট গ্রেটলি ডিসপার্স অ্যান্ড অ্যাজ ওয়েল অ্যাজ প্রেসড, এটাকে বাদ দিয়ে যদি বলা যায় যে টলস্টয় ওয়াজ ওয়ান অফ দ্য ক্রিটিক অফ দিস আইকনিক টাওয়ার।
Okay. One of the harsh critic,
হ্যাঁ,
right?
of this
One
iconic tower.
Exactly. Iconic tower. The second point is covered. Iconic critic.
স্যার এই সেকেন্ড পয়েন্ট ক্রিটিক যেটা ওখানে কি যোগ করে দেবো, অ্যাজ হি সেড দ্যাট ইট ইজ এ ম্যানস ফলস
Yeah, folly.
ওটাকে বাদ দিয়ে আমি বলতে
Not,
চাইছি যে মানে ফলস কি বলে ওটাকে, যে মিথ্যে দেখানো যেটাকে বলে।
not man's.
Man's foolishness or
Man's snobbery, right? There is man's snobbery. Clear?
তাহলে ওটাকে সেকেন্ড পয়েন্টে ঢুকিয়ে দিলে তো হয়, যে ম্যানস ফলির উইজডমটাকে ওই ক্রিটিকের সঙ্গে ঢুকিয়ে দেয়, কারণ এটা তলস্তই তো বলেছে। তাহলে আমরা তাবাকুকে থার্ড পয়েন্টে নিয়ে যেতে পারবো, কারণ ওটা না হলে এবার ম্যানস ফলিকে একটা অন্য পয়েন্ট দিতে হতে পারে।
Okay, no issue. Come on, construct the sentence.
তারপরে সেটা বলতে পারি যে তাবাকু ইজ এ ভেরি টক্সিক ম্যাটেরিয়াল বলা যায়। Or,
Not a toxic material. Toxic means poisonous. Or
আচ্ছা,
intoxicant means which triggers কি বলবো? Intoxicant itself is a nesha.
নেশা কি?
Intoxicant is a thing which induces a kind of booziness, drowsiness. যেটা নেশা উদ্রেক করে সেটা intoxicants.
tipsiness.
But the toxic element is something else, which is poisonous, venomous.
স্যার তাহলে ওটা বাদ দিয়ে আমি যদি ইনটক্সিকেশনটা বাদ দিয়ে যদি বলি তাবাকু ইজ ওয়ান সাচ অফ এলিমেন্ট হুইচ মেড এ ইলিউশন ইন আওয়ার মাইন্ড, ইন আওয়ার না বলে
One such an element. It is such an element.
such an element that that made বলবো না,
That makes
that makes a illusion in
mind.
one's mind that he commits such a crimes that he never imagine, মানে ইমাজিন করতে পারে না যেটা।
Definitely. That remains beyond his imagination.
এখানে লিকারটাকে না আনার কোনো প্রয়োজনই নেই, কারণ লিকার তো এখানে কোনো যুক্তি নেই। তাবাকুকে একটু জাস্ট উপরের দিকে মানে আরো ওস্ট দেখানোর জন্য তো লিকার আনা হয়েছে, তো লিকারটা বাদ দিলেই তো হয়।
Okay,
আর
definitely.
এখানে স্যার এই ইলিউশনটা দিয়ে ক্যাসেলিনিয়ার তো হয়েই যাচ্ছে, তো ওটা বাদ দেওয়া যায় ওই লাইনটা টোটালি।
Illusion. Next.
স্যার এই তাবাকুর ইনফ্লুয়েন্স যেটা, আহ, ওটাকে কি ওই ইলিউশনের মধ্যে ঢোকানো যাবে? একটু কঠিন হতে পারে ঢোকানোটা।
See, you have already said about the tobacco and its effect. Now come to the next point. Leave it.
ওকে স্যার, ওকে। সি হ্যাঁ, আইফেল টাওয়ারের আর্ট ব্যাপারটা এবার এই পয়েন্টটা।
Yes, yes. That is regarding art. Now construct the sentence.
Sir,
This point can be like that Tolstoy, by promoting the idea of tobacco there, the Eiffel Tower was inspired from that idea.
Forget about tobacco and its influence. We have already discussed it. So let it be consolidated into one point.
স্যার আর্টের ব্যাপারে এটা বলতে পারি যে অ্যাকর্ডিং টু টলস্টয় an iron mountain can never be a exhibit of a art.
And wonderful. And
Iron
iron
monument. Tower or monument. Tower.
Monument. Now see, you have right iron monument, but this is baffling. This is not definite. An iron monument like Eiffel Tower, right?
হ্যাঁ স্যার, এটা
It
শুনতে
would-
ভালো লাগছে। হ্যাঁ,
An iron monument like Eiffel Tower. Next.
স্যার এখানে গ্রামারটা আমি খুঁজে পাচ্ছি না, মানে এটা বলতে হবে আয়রন মনুমেন্ট লাইক আইফেল টাওয়ার কখনোই একটা এক্সিবিট আর্টের এক্সিবিট হতে পারে না, মানে বা বিউটি অফ
Okay.
এক্সিবিশন হতে পারে না।
Okay. An iron monument like Eiffel Tower
Can never be the epitome of art or
can hardly be, okay, an epitome of art. Right? Next.
তারপর এটা বলতে পারি যে মেন, সেটা তো একটা জাতি বলছি, তো আর হবে না স্যার। মেন আর
Okay, okay.
men are running towards it just like a boy to it, মানে একটা ছেলে যেমন খেলনার প্রতি যেভাবে দৌড়ে যায়, তেমনই এই মানবজাতি এটার প্রতি দৌড়ে যাচ্ছে। এটা মানে এইভাবে বলতে চাইছি, আমি দুটো লাইনটাকে একসাথে করতে চাইছি, যে
Okay,
উই আর
okay.
অ্যাট্রাক্টেড বাই দ্য টয়েস, এই ব্যাপারটা, এই ছেলে
Okay,
চিলড্রেনের ব্যাপারটাকে।
I'm making it for you.
sir. At this point, can you say like this with that the men rushed in a crowd, the men in a crowd rushed to see the great iconic sculpture and ascended it generation after generation.
স্যার এই
Don't
গ্রেট আইকনিক্স এগুলো বারবার ইউজ করলে তো ওয়ার্ড বাড়বে, একবার যেহেতু আইকনিক বলেছি তো বাদ দেওয়াই উচিত তো মনে হয়।
be very, I mean,
Great
economic.
sculpture.
Great sculpture. Be very economic. Don't spend too much word. Just write it in this way. See.
Yes, sir.
স্যার আমার লাইনটা বলুন কিভাবে করতে হবে।
People are
Engrossed.
people are haunted by its colossal structure and not by its beauty. As children follows gaudy objects. Now see, people are haunted by its colossal structure and not by its beauty. মানুষ এর একটা দৈত্যাকৃতি চেহারায় আকৃষ্ট হয়, ধাবিত হয় এটা পেছনে, সৌন্দর্যে নয়। As children follows gaudy objects, ঠিক যেমন শিশুরা কি করে, some shining objects, gaudy objects means which is very loud in nature, তারা সেটাকে ফলো করে, ঠিক মানুষও তাই করছে। So in a very simple way I have said it without caring about what is written exactly in these lines, right? Now come to the structure. See.
স্যার এই লাইনটা একবার বলুন, পিপল আর হান্টেড ব্যাপারটা।
No.
রিপিট।
People are hunted. It is not hunted. H-A-U-N T-E-D, H-A-U-N-T-E-D. People are haunted by its colossal structure. Colossal means a huge structure. You can write massive structure, huge structure, right? And
mammoth
not,
structure.
and not by its beauty, as children follows, children follow, not follows, as children is plural, so we cannot write follows. As children follow gaudy objects. Gaudy means very
Shining.
loud, shining, চকচকে এইসব ব্যাপারগুলো বাচ্চারা যেমন পছন্দ করে, ঝকমকে objects, right? It's very simple one. So we have 196 words, almost 200 words. Now the main points. The Eiffel Tower is both praised and ignored. Very simple. Tolstoy's opinion. Clear. And the tower displays man's foolishness, must have been set up under the influence of intoxication. Clear? No real beauty. Just toyish trifle revels spectators. Childishness. Just toyish, like a toy that is toyish. And trifle reveals spectators. Trifle means very
Figures.
unimportant. That is trifle. Tucho. That is trifle. Of lower value. কোনো দাম নেই, তুচ্ছ, সামান্য বিষয়. That is spectators, right? So childishness. So these are points. Next, answer to the question. Tolstoy's opinion on Eiffel Tower. Very simple. Precis. The Eiffel Tower is both praised and denounced by people. So very simple line. Tolstoy observes that it commemorates man's foolishness. So Tolstoy sees it to be what? That it commemorates. Commemorates means স্মরণ করা. It denotes, it displays man's foolishness, not sagacity. Sagacity means wiseness, right? Man erected the tower under the illusion of worst type of intoxicant. Man erected the tower, that is, established, set up the tower under the illusion of worst type of intoxicant, under the illusion of worst type of intoxicants. Like tobacco, hyphen, maintains Tolstoy. That means says Tolstoy. Here maintains means says Tolstoy. The Eiffel Tower, a gross creation, does not uphold any artistic aesthetic norm. Now, Eiffel Tower, a gross creation, Gross means, what is gross? No. Sthulu. Base. Not delicate. Shukkho noy. অত্যন্ত স্থূল. A gross creation. This is a base creation. Right? It has no subtle explanation of art. Shukkho শৈল্পিক বোধ নেই যেখানে. There is gross creation. Does not uphold any artistic or aesthetic norms. Aesthetic norms means Nandan Datta. Aesthetic. Aesthetic. This is the sense of beauty is called aesthetics. So it does not uphold any artistic or aesthetic norm. And according to him, this unusual and huge showpiece attracting adults only reveals their childish immaturity. The huge showpiece. So instead of toy, we have written showpiece. And huge showpiece attracting adults. যে showpiece গুলো adultদের attract করছে কেমন? Only reveals their childish immaturity. Clear? So this is the thing. This is the way of writing. See, do you find my points? Shonib, clear?
Yes, sir.
Shomojit?
Yes, sir.
Nausea?
Yes, sir.
So this is the very basic of précis writing. Try to practice it at home so that we can, within a very short span of time, can reach up to the limit of bringing marks, right? So this is all for today. This is on précis, and we have next one class left in which we will describe how to write this essay, right? So that we can touch almost all of the categories,
Sir,
right?
আমাদের আর্টিকেল প্রিপারেশন আছে না?
You have article preparation, but is it possible to conclude and deal with so many subjects? Right? If you want, I can discuss article and preparation with you in a very short PDF so that it will be understandable to you.
হ্যাঁ স্যার, কিছু একটা করে দিন তাহলে আমরা একটু দেখে নিতে পারি, মানে করেছি
Okay.
একটু।
Okay, no issue. I can show you in the next class, right?
Yes, thank you.
So please be there.
নেক্সট ডেট কি এসে করাবেন, মানে ওটাই কি আমাদের লাস্ট যেটা রাইটিং স্কিল?
Exactly, before examination, this is only possible which I can deal with, right? We have to be very practical. If we try to handle so many things together, we will fail. We can complete, right? So it is always better to be very calculative when we approach the examination. Clear?
ইয়েস স্যার। স্যার
Still,
এটা কি টাইটেলটা কি হবে?
this was the title: Tolstoy's Opinion on Eiffel Tower.
স্যার এটা কি হতে পারে যে দ্য আইফেল টাওয়ার এ কন্ট্রোভার্সিয়াল আইকন অফ ম্যানস folly?
A controversial icon. See, try to include the name of Tolstoy because he is an immense personality who has been mentioned here to a great extent অনেকটা জুড়ে এখানে তার নাম নেওয়া হয়েছে। So this massive personality must be mentioned. Otherwise, the title remains incomplete, right?
ইয়েস স্যার। আর স্যার আপনি যে প্রথমে যে আমাদের পেশিটা করিয়েছিলেন সেখানে যে হেডিংটা ছিল প্রসপেরো অ্যান্ড এরিয়েল, বাট এরিয়েলের যে যে মানে কি বলে একটা স্ক্রিন টাইম, মানে যেটাকে কি বলে ওটাকে, সেটা তো খুবই কম। তো আমি এখানে প্রসপেরো
Okay, okay, okay.
অ্যান্ড
I
হিজ
got it.
ম্যাজিক বলা যেতে পারে তো? কারণ
No issue,
ম্যাজিকের বই।
no issue. You can write it in this way.
মানে একটা প্রেসিস মানে একটা এতে যে যে জিনিসগুলো গুরুত্বপূর্ণ সেইগুলোর উপর, মানে যেগুলোর উপর লাইট চালানো হচ্ছে সেটাই জাস্ট ওর হেডিং হিসেবে বা টাইটেল হিসেবে আসতো তো।
একদম। Yes, 100%. You 100% correct. See, why I had mentioned the name of Ariel, because if you know the story, you can understand that Ariel is a very important character who is mentioned in the last line of the passage. Ariel is born out of the good spirit. Ariel is a representative of good spirit. When we mean Ariel, we actually mean good spirits. That's why I have mentioned the name. But it is not mandatory. If you want, you can write it in a different way. Right?
স্যার মানে যেগুলো আমাদের না জানা থাকবে সেগুলো আমরা ওই যেখানে যেটুকু দেওয়া আছে তার উপরে লিখতে পারি, যদি আমরা জানি তো তাহলে ঠিক আছে।
Definitely. Every title you have attributed to is 100% correct. Clear?
Yes, sir.
So, okay, that's all for today. So be prepared for the examination. I wish you very best luck for the examination. Actually, examination does not depend on luck. It depends on the sheer effort, right? So be always inspired, feel inspired, and pour your inspiration into the copy of the examination, right? So end of the day, what I should tell you at first, be energetic and expressive in examination. The preparation is complete. Now it is your choice how to react with the paper of the examination. Keep your spirit very high when you go to the examination, right? Focus on the paper. Don't get into the gossip or in any kind of discussion before the commencement of the examination. Focus, focus, and focus. This is the only thing. In your academic, in your post-academic session, everywhere you need to focus, right? So focusing on any subject will serve your purpose greatly, right? So, okay, good night to all of you.
স্যার
হ্যাঁ,
স্যার তাহলে নেক্সট ডে এসিটা হচ্ছে না, এসির ক্লাসটা?
definitely হচ্ছে।
ঠিক আছে স্যার।
Definitely. With article and preposition.
ওকে স্যার।
Thank you, sir. Good night.
Good night. Good night.